how do we really define kind of failure in the people that are the successes in the end, right? I mean, you and I have seen probably hundreds, if not thousands of people. I've been in Silicon Valley for 15 years. And there are so many people I know who have been here and left, right? They started business, they left. I don't know what they're doing anymore, right? And I'm sure the same for you. What has kept certain people, why do some people still succeed when others don't? Like, what is that failure mode? And then how do people listen? How do you avoid that? Like, what is the unlock to say, I can create that luck or be in the position to have that luck find me?
I'm going to invert the question a little bit. And I'll make a grander argument, which we can then maybe debate, which is, I think success is the anomaly. That's why. And then we start doing case studies and white papers, and then we start having debates about, no, Netflix was so prescient and brilliant. And I'm not saying they weren't, I'm not going to sit here, but it's the anomaly. There were tons of other streaming services and video things happening at that time. And just crickets, digital crickets, virtual tumbleweeds. It just didn't work out. So the question becomes, is it the individual? Is it their vision? Or is it just simply the market wasn't there at that point? Was it just a brand story? I mean, how often do you ultimately believe that the brands that you love are the best manufactured products or services in the world? Probably not. They tell a better story. That story resonates with a greater audience. And because of that, they're able to access a greater market. They have a bigger TAM. And so part of what I think is missing in this is a bit of the humility of understanding that. And what that means is, in a world where we have a much broader definition of what your network is, and your network used to be the people you know and your customers and your suppliers. Now it's agents of AI, now it's new media, it's a whole bunch of things that build your network. And your ability to use those tools and access those tools creates another unique, I think, aspect of entrepreneurship, which is a lot of us are still focused on the attention economy, with the TAM being like, I need to tell everybody about my product and service, where what we really see is the ones that are more niche focused and dig in. You can build, the TAM is much bigger than you think. That total addressable market is much bigger than you think because of the globalization and connectivity that we now, most of us, get to enjoy and be a part of. So those new metrics, I believe, create a different definition of that and allow you to play in ways where you don't have to be the biggest or the best. You just have to know how to access that specific TAM, and you can scale out of that. And by the way, like, even if you look at a lot of business books recently, a lot of them are talk and spend time looking at brands that are trying to enter new markets and how they fail. And I always think to myself, what was the play? Was that play just somewhat traditional rhetoric? Or was that really precision driven by the fact that we've done really well or maximized this total addressable market? What's the next one?
Think about a company or a brand. How do they decide when they go into a different market or go in a different direction and expand past it, right? I even use my own company as an example. You talked about chores. Our name is Chore. So for us, like, we work mostly with tech startups today. But there's so many, I mean, I think every company needs essentially a fractional chief of staff to run your entire back office. Yet I don't want our company to get distracted. And yet I also know there's this massive other markets, but I also know we've not come anywhere close to saturating our core market today in the slightest amount. How do I decide when to make a move there, to decide what maybe our market is good, but maybe it's not great. Maybe we have to go in a different direction. How does a company think through all of that? I mean, obviously how it relates to brand building in the first place and telling your story.
It's a challenge I deal every day with, whether it's Thinkers One or thinking about where my time is best spent as a keynote speaker. It's the normal aspect of human nature of more, bigger, greater, especially when you have those entrepreneurial drives. Focus still has been, from my perspective, the most powerful skill that I have. Really being able, I'll give you a very pedantic example of this, but it's so true. I've been speaking professionally for close to 20 years, and it's very unique. I'm very unique in that sense because I've had agency representation from day one. So I am exclusive, as weird as this sounds, with two speaking bureaus, one where I'm based in Canada and one in the US. And so what happens is you essentially get emails that say, hey, are you available on October the 31st to speak in Los Angeles? And I look at my calendar and I go, yay or nay. And then you fly down. Like I did last week. I was actually in LA at LA Live at the JW Marriott Hotel for an event. And as I'm walking the halls, you look over and notice there's probably 4 or 5 other events happening literally in that hotel, forgetting the fact that it's literally attached to the Los Angeles Convention Center. It's right there. Okay? How many events are happening in Las Vegas on that day, in Chicago, in Boston, in New York City, in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale in Florida, in Boca Raton? It's like you could go through that and say thousands, if not thousands. And I'm only speaking at one that week in LA. How big is that? I've been doing this for 20 years where you would think that at this point, everyone's heard me speak and that's it. Clearly not. So the focus of being able to look at that, laugh and say, if the speaker in that room drops dead and they happen to run and go, does anyone here know how to give a keynote? It's like, here we go. Let's plug me and let me go do what I do. I'm great at this. So those moments of humility are very important because you can get in your brain to this point where you believe there's nowhere else. There's nothing. I have to start opening. And the truth is being self-reflective to the reality of the situation is very humbling.